Hello again and welcome to another Nick Beck's Watch Reviews. In front of us here I have a Timex. This is the Timex Q Diver Chronograph. I will actually go into the watch in a minute, but as usual I'd just like to again to say thanks to all my subscribers, to my existing subscribers, thanks to all the new subscribers. Thanks to everybody that watches the channel. It's a very amateur channel. I filmed this on my phone, sat at a dining room table in the dining room, obviously. So thanks again. I'm way past 1,000 subscribers now, and I will give a little shout out to all my usuals, Bricktop, the Time Bombardier, my brother, my friends, everybody for bothering to watch my channel. I'm really, really grateful. Anyway, moving on, like I say, this is the new Timex Q Diver Chronograph. A little bit of an odd one, this, because it's called a diver, but it's only 50 meters water resistant, which is a bit of a strange one. This particular one is from a company called Very. I paid £180 for it. I'm not keeping it. It's a bit of an odd watch. It's very pretty, but I'll go into what I don't like about it after things I do like about it. So, as ever, without further ado, let me bring it up to the camera and sort of show you around the watch. So like I say, this is the new Diver Chronograph, which is very, very strange because it's with, like I say, the 50 meters water resistant. Let me just take the little pin out there so I can start the watch up. There we go, and push the crown in. It's just got a standard push-pull crown on this one. I shall show you. It's got a tiny little Q, so it's a signed crown. On this one we've got a 40mm case, and because it's sort of technically got no lugs, and I'll just flip it over to show you, it's got easy release push pins on the leather strap, and you've got the Timex screw case back, so you can put your own battery in it if you need to. Yeah, so because it's actually got no lugs, the lugs actually, or the strap actually goes into the watch. It's almost like an integrated leather strap. Get that back in focus there. So it's got a lug width on this one of, I've measured it at 46, but it doesn't really seem right. But anyway, I'm sure lots of you have seen this watch, so if if I'm wrong, please correct me on that one. You've got a height of 13.5. It's actually quite a thick watch because you've got a domed mineral crystal on this. Now that's another thing I'd like to bring up. In every single review I've seen, it says it's acrylic. According to the website by Timex, it's a mineral crystal, and it certainly feels like a mineral crystal. So it's not acrylic, it's actually mineral. Anyway, it's like I say, you've got a 40mm case on this one. You can see it's a chronograph. You have the pushers in the usual places, and I'll just sort of go through this one. There's a little bit of feedback. It's kind of like a soft, if you can imagine pushing into plastic rather than that kind of mechanical Seiko mecha quartz. Now I do believe, I'm told, this is actually some kind of derivative of a Seiko mecha quartz, but it hasn't got that instant flyback. You've just got to push the bottom button there and it sweeps back. So I don't know. Again, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know a lot about this watch. Apart from my wife, I've not really had a Timex before, and I know she had one. Anyway, so I ordered it because I like the look of it. I like the look of the kind of vintage style, is it opposite panda chronograph? I thought that's quite cool. I like the fact that there's a dome crystal, which gives it the distortions and gives it kind of like quite a vintage style and vibe. I like the subdials, and one of them at the 9 o'clock is actually a 24-hour subdial, which is absolutely pointless. But you know, it's not about the functionality of a watch of this price, is it? Let's be honest. It's about the quality and the kind of how it looks, the aesthetics. You've got a date wheel at the 430, which is white on black, which is probably not the most legible date wheel I've ever seen. The dials, sub-dials are kind of like a silver, almost like a sunburst. They've got a bit of a sheen to them, but they're very attractive. The handset is the kind of gatepost with a little bit of loom. Loom's not fantastic. Then you've got your, and I'll press it again so we can see it, you've got your sweeping chronograph seconds hand there with the lollipop sort of 3/4 up, and then the counterbalance lollipop down at the bottom there. The bottom, you've got your bottom subdial 6 o'clock is the counter for minutes, and you've got a continuous second hand on your 3 o'clock subdial. The Q at the top again is a bit of a bone of contention. Some people like it, some people don't. I actually don't think it detracts from the attractiveness, if that's a word, of this watch. I still think it's a very attractive watch. You've got Timex chronograph, and I'll just pull there we go, so you can have a look at Timex chronograph, quartz, printed on the dial there in sort of crisp white. Now it's a shame, I think maybe they could have done that in the same colour as the sub-dial. It's kind of like an off-white, silvery, creamy colour, but you know, it's not, it doesn't detract from the prettiness of this watch. You've got an aluminium insert tachymeter bezel, and that's quite nice. That's very glossy and shiny black, and you catch that in the sunlight, you can see. And moving right up to the camera, and we can get this into focus, there we go. You can see you've got a kind of like a glossy black dial, which is actually very pleasant. The whole thing is actually finished very nicely. It's a lot nicer than I expected, let's put it that way. It's quite not a heavy watch, but it's definitely got a feel of kind of sturdiness. It doesn't feel like like a cheap Chinese watch, or a maybe low-end Seiko chronograph. It's actually, it's got quite a bit of heft to it. You've got the tops of the lugs are stainless steel. The whole case is stainless steel, but you've got that kind of polished look. It's a bit dusty, I'm afraid. You've got that kind of polished top surface. Then you've got some brushing going along the bottom of the what would be the lugs at the bottom of the case, so on that angle. There's lots of angles on this, and I do like that. I like the sort of the well polished edges of the watch, and that goes all the way round. I think that's a really nice touch. I love the fact that you can change the battery yourself. I love the fact that Timex, like a lot of the companies now, are going with these quick release straps. The leather strap is one of the nicest parts of this watch, and as you can see, it's got I don't know what that is, SB FCOT Trading Company, so that's some kind of, and then Timex written on there, that's obviously some kind of company that makes leather straps. You've got a Timex signed brushed buckle there, and your couple of keepers. And like I say, generally speaking, the quality and the finish of this watch is very good. I think the little things that I've noticed, if you look very, very kind of close at the hands, the finish on the edge of the hands, and I can't without kind of getting a really strong magnifying glass. You can see a little bit there on the bottom of the hour hand, the bottom of the minute hand. They're not finished fantastically. They're a bit sort of jagged on the edges, but you know, this is a £180 watch, so it's no big deal. Unless you're like me and very OCD and want to have a really, really stupidly close look at it. Like I say, everything's finished fairly well, with the exception of, like I say, the jagged, that's the best way of putting it, edges of the hands. The case feels very nice quality. Like I say, it's got a bit of heft. It's a difficult one, this. I really like the watch, but It's just a couple of little things like the hands, and if you look closely at the polished edges on top, and I can't really sort of show you very well, they are a bit sort of wavy, and I've seen that in other reviews of other people have said that the polished edges are a little bit, you can almost see like the brushing where they've brushed it and then polished it. So you got a bit of wavy there, but you know, it's not a deal breaker. It is for me in this case. Yeah, so that's the new Timex Q Diver chronograph. It's a bit of a weird one, this. I love the look of it and I like the quality, but it just doesn't do it for me. So I'm going to show you something now, and that is the fact that, you know, okay, the leather strap is brand new and I haven't worn the watch, and given time I may be completely, you know, may completely change my mind, but because it's quite a high watch, and the way the lugs, kind of the strap is built into the lugs, into the case, it's a little bit awkward to wear, and I can't seem to get it to kind of sit on my wrist very well. So that's a wrist shot. I think, you know, given time, it'll probably soften, and I'll probably be completely wrong, and other people will say, oh, do you know what, we've had ours for 3 months and it's fantastic. So that's, you know, that's it on the wrist. Like I say, it really is an odd one, this one. I'm not going to keep it. I do like it, but it's just not quite for me. What I love, I'm just going to show you here, you get this lovely kind of leatherette box, and a little bit about the watch inside. Tells you about the Timex Q chronograph, inspired by motor racing watches from the 1970s. You know, a little bit of information. It's quite a heavy box, you know, it feels like it's really nice quality. And then you get the, let's just pop the watch back on there, you get the outer box, and then on top of that, just to completely protect it, you get this white cardboard box over the top. So, you know, Timex have spent some time, pardon the pun, giving this, you know, how can I put this, trying to make things a bit better, you know, really kind of upping their game a little bit. So anyway, that's my opinion. Let me just show you that the hang tag, just so you can see exactly what it is. Like I say, it's the Timex Chronograph Diver, and there's the TW2V4 2700. There you go. Oh, just one thing before I forget, the lug width on this is 18 millimeters, and because it's integrated, it's going to be a bit difficult to get anything that's going to look right, because you're going to get the overhang because it's sort of cut into the case. That's another thing I didn't like. So enough of my rambling. Again, thank you everybody for watching my videos and my channel. Thanks for everything. Thanks for all your polite feedback, blah 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 blah. Brilliant stuff. Hope to see you again soon. Just a little teaser, and I keep meaning to do this. I have my new, if I can get that into focus there, my new Loris Field watch I want to review. This is astonishing value for money. Anyway, that's the little teaser there. Thanks again everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Have a great weekend. Take care now. Bye bye.